The article that really rattled my brain in a good way was Designing Online Learning Opportunities for Students with Disabilities by Sean J. Smith and James D. Basham. What really struck me was the article's definition of Section 508 of the Rehabilitation Act. I had a general understanding that Section 508 was just making sure that everyone had access to everything they needed on the internet. If someone could not see, they might not need an alternative way to take in information on the internet. Simply reading a page for information made the content completely inaccessible for someone who is blind. If an individual could not hear information on a video, it becomes suddenly accessible if there are captions. I generally knew that how I access information and content on the internet is much different than someone with a particular disability. What I really appreciated about the article was the specificity of how the authors explained Section 508. It requires that all technology used, developed, and purchased by federal agencies be accessible to people with disabilities. This includes all technologies from websites to telecommunication products. The specificity gets laid out when the authors describe it as one, web accessibility means that people with disabilities can use the web. More specifically, web accessibility means that people with disabilities can perceive, understand, navigate, and interact with the web and that they can contribute to the web. Two, technology is accessible if it can be used as effectively by people with disabilities as by those without. I use the web all the time and I'm not disabled. This definition reminded me of how accessible the web is to me and how it may not be to someone with a disability. I always knew that I would use the internet differently than a disabled person, but was not considering how I was using the web. Perceiving, understanding, navigating, and interacting with content. All people, no matter their ability or disability, must have the ability to perceive, understand, navigate, and interact with the content on the internet. The most important concept that I found was that many of the tools that could make the web more accessible were very simple. While captions on a video did not help all disabilities, for people who cannot hear, there there is an essential tool for deaf individuals to be able to access the same content as fully hearing individuals. Learning how to add captions to a simple YouTube video can reach many more individuals. An accessibility concept that I already draw from in my own practice is making sure that the content I am teaching is accessible cognitively. Most, if not all, of my students are not disabled in any way of using the internet for learning. What my students do lack is a fundamental understanding of the subject that I teach, mathematics, making required concepts seem out of touch. A variety of sites help me make the concepts more accessible. Thankfully, easily accessible sites like Desmos.com allow students to check their graphing accuracy and evaluation skills. Khan Academy offers closed caption videos and problems that provide instant feedback for the students. When students have to show me that they understand fundamental concepts, these are good ways to see that.